Hello, and welcome to the Multicultural Community Project TV show. Today we are here with Reverend Dr. Oscar Walden and Steve Mosely. And Dr. Walden, I would like to welcome you to our show.
Yeah, thank you
you
very
for
much.
coming to our
God
show
bless you.
and being a guest. And thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Yvonne.
Thank you.
I would like to find out a little bit about you and tell me what event led you on your journey.
What event? Oh, man. The event that led me on my journey was being snatched off a bus when I was on my way to work. I was only 20 years old, and my father was working there, and I was supposed to punch the clock at 3:30, and it was the Ballymolin Iron Works where my father was working, and I caught a bus. I was living in Oak Hill Gardens, and kissed my wife goodbye. She was 3 months pregnant, and I didn't realize it would be 14 years before I would kiss her again. But I boarded a bus at 103rd in Michigan, and that was a composite sketch of a guy that I had never seen before. This certainly didn't look like me. And I was standing up under this picture waiting for a bus. It was a cold day in January, my mother's birthday. She was born January 11th. And I was looking forward to having a nice time that evening, and I just stood there. And as I found out later, there was a composite sketch on that wall of someone who had raped a woman about a block and a half from there on 103rd and about State Street somewhere. And I boarded the bus when it came, not knowing anything was wrong, because I'm going to tell you something. My mother, she probably didn't birth any geniuses, but she sure enough didn't birth any fools.
All right.
I wouldn't be fool enough if I had raped a woman a block and a half down to be standing up under my picture saying, "Here I am, y'all, come and get me." But anyway, I proceeded on east and got as far as that steel mill, and at 106 in Torrance. And when I looked up, and incidentally, I had already had received the call to the ministry and had registered to start next semester at the Moody Bible Institute. So I was really getting my life together and really had my calling and everything. And when the police walked up, they say, "You're under arrest." I say, "Under arrest? Under arrest for what?" "Well, you'll find out when you get to the police station." Well, couldn't resist arrest. And I just followed them on out of the back of the bus. It was 3 of them. 1 came through the front and 2 came through the back. And they put me in an unmarked car and took me to 115th and, Kensington, the Kensington police station. Now, when we look at the things that are happening today, I guess some people think, well, did this ever happen before? It definitely happened before. That same day I just mentioned, the police that I encountered were the same police that we see killing people today, beating up women, and doing all these things that they're doing. But somebody might say, well, why didn't you tell us about it, that these police were capable of doing these things? Well, all I can say to that is I tried to tell the city of Chicago about it, and the people in the city really looked at me when I say, well, I just got out. See, I got out in November of 1965.
Okay.
And I started telling people, because this thing was really heavy on me. I said, man, I just got out of prison, and I did 14 years in prison for something I didn't know nothing about. The leadership in Chicago is who I was talking to.
Right.
And they said, well, man, so what, man? What else is new? I mean,
Right.
that was the attitude. And I have, ever since that time, I've been trying to wake up the people in Chicago to the fact that we have a bunch of road policemen in these police stations that are, as far as I can tell, they I would think that they are the sons and grandsons of the Ku Klux Klan.
Well,
That's the way they were acting.
tell me something. Do you think that it is because of outdated methods, or do you think it is a diversity issue that people need to be educated and not have so many misconceptions about African Americans, Hispanics, or whatever, that we are actual people and not the images that you see in media?
I think, frankly, from my analysis and from my research, that we are dealing with the sons, grandsons, and great grandsons of those same people that lynched black men. Billie Holiday sang about them, black bodies swinging from magnolia tree. We are dealing with that same person. And these people have just been laying dormant. Well, if you think I'm kidding, think about the fact that they have gotten all of these all this army equipment, tanks, AK-47s. They have gotten Army 45s. This equipment that was left over from the wars, they are now in the police stations in the United States, all over the United States.
So tell me, what do you think the key is to changing the problem with all the social injustice?
In my opinion, the only way we're going to change this is it has to be done legislatively. We have to first deal with Chicago here, as far as I'm concerned, because this is where I live. Springfield, the Senate and the House have to come together and change the laws. There is an unholy alliance in the police stations between the state's attorneys and the police. I was tortured right there in that police station at 115th Street. Not in the front by the desk sergeant's desk where everybody would hear, but in the back of that police station, on the alley, where if anybody walked through that alley, they would hear a noise and they say, "Oh, that's just some man beating his wife." No, it wasn't nobody beating their wife. It was me screaming to the top of my voice while they were bending my fingers back saying, can I use the word the N word? No. They saying the N word, we're gonna break these fingers off and drop them in the wastebasket while the other one was knocking my head from one side to the other. And then when he would think he had broke these fingers or was near to break them, he'd go around on the other side and do the same thing. That is torture.
Yes.
That was 62 years ago, and I haven't forgotten it yet. That is why I say that people like Haney and people and the CIA, they are wrong. They are wrong when they say that torture, that what they did is not torture. It is torture.
Yes. So tell me, what is one of the most difficult obstacles that you had to overcome, and how did you overcome it?
Well, one of the most difficult things, you see, after I had received this religious, I would call it epiphany, and I had said to God, Lord, I'll go anywhere to preach your gospel. I'm telling you, this was a genuine, bona fide, 24-karat experience. I found Christ. I had an experience with him. And I was ready to go anywhere. And I said, Lord, I'll go anywhere to preach your gospel. And if I had known he was going to send me to prison, I would not have said that. But I had a ministry in prison. In prison, I was very fortunate that when I came in at the diagnostic depot in Joliet, where they muster you in, you see the warden and all those people, and you also see the chaplain and when I talked to the chaplain, tears were streaming out of my eyes. I said, "Sir, I'm innocent." I said, "I don't know why I'm here." And tears were streaming from my eyes. And it must have really touched his heart, because he was like a Potiphar in Joseph's day. He saw something in me, and it touched him. And he said, "Well, you know what? I just heard that my clerk got a parole, so I'm going to be needing a clerk." And he said, "I can't not say I'm going to hire you. I have to submit 3 names, and the captain has to pick one of those 3. He said, "Oscar, I will submit your name also." And guess who got the job?
Amen.
I got it. And so as a chaplain's assistant, I had liberties and things that I would not have had ordinarily. I had access to a piano. I had already been studying at the conservatory, Chicago Conservatory of Music. I studied at Chicago Musical College and all of that. And so I had an opportunity to play the piano when I wanted to. I asked my mama to bring me my bass. I played the upright bass. I asked her to bring it to me, and I played the upright bass in the choir every Sunday morning at services. And I was just blessed. Plus, I asked my mother, because I'm going to tell you something, daughter. When you have something inside of you that must be told, it's got to come out. It's got to be told. I asked my mother, I said, "Bring me my typewriter." It was an old antique Underwood typewriter. And I used to type my books on that. And I remember when I first came in that cell, I never will forget, I had my duffel bag on my shoulders, and it was a cell that had, 3 bunks. The first 2 bunks were made up.
Okay.
The top bunk did not have a sheet or anything on it. So when I came in there with my bag on my shoulder, I said, "Now listen, y'all, I'm Reverend Walldenn." I said, and I didn't wait till I came in here to become Reverend Walden.
Okay.
I said, "Look, whatever y'all doing, y'all keep on doing it. But don't bring it to me." And I gritted my teeth. I said, "Because I got 75 years and I would kill somebody." And I'm going to tell you, I never had any kind of experience, homosexual experience, because the Lord blessed me to get out of there just before the gangbangers got there. Because when the gangbangers got there, they took over the institution.
Okay.
And that's why you see the situation there now that you see.
Okay. So tell me, in overcoming this, what is your why? What keeps you going? What keeps you motivated? I mean, what made you the author that you are today and the playwright that you are today?
Well, I'm going to tell you, I had one teacher when I was in high school that saw something in me, and she gave me a book. She said, "Oscar, I want you to read this book." The name of the book was Treasure Island. And I read that book, and 15 men on the dead man's chest, ho, 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 and a bottle of rum, and these guys on this island trying to find this treasure. Look, I got so interested. I said, "Well, who gonna get this treasure?" I really and truly began at that time to be interested in writing, but it took the prison experience to really make me really want to get down to the business of writing. And I used to lay on my bunk, write all my manuscripts. See, we didn't have the stuff that we got now, I'd lay on my stomach and write all my manuscripts. I wrote 14 manuscripts out with the pen. And then I jumped down when my cell partner was out of the cell. I would jump down, get on my typewriter, and whatever I had written, I'd type it out. That's how I wrote 14 manuscripts.
Thank you, Dr. Walldenn. One of the things that we are going to talk about is his upcoming play, and I would like to introduce Steve. And Steve, tell me a little bit about how you became the director and how the two of you met.
Well, I was duly elected by Walldenn Productions Inc. Board of Directors to be the director for the historical hit stage play Skipper. And I've been with the cast and been part of Walden Productions Inc. for about 14 years, going back far as Probation Challenge, where I was introduced to Skipper, and ever since then have been a part of the cast, portraying the character Skipper, and humbly portraying a man that gave his life, because ain't no brother nowadays gonna lay down his life for his friend, his fellow man.
And Skipper is coming up, and you have a play that Skipper that will be coming out in January, correct? February.
Yes,
of
yes.
2015.
Of 2015.
And how can someone find out more about Skipper?
Well, for further information, they can go to our website at www.skippertheplay.com, and you can see the links where you can buy tickets and you can pre-purchase tickets for our upcoming historical hit stage play Skipper, which is a 3-day major production.
Okay. Thank you so much, and I'm honored to have you here today.
Yes.
And this is Yvonne Spear, host, with Reverend Dr. Oscar Walden Jr.
Yes.
and Steve Mosely. Thank you.